Good evening, Brad.
Evening.
Is this your first castle experience?
Yes, my very first time at Guthrie Castle.
Are you glad you attended the castle seminar and why?
I couldn't be happier. I attended. I had met Dan before because I interviewed him on my show London Real, but I didn't really understand what QLA was all about, what Dan was all about, until I spent the last 6 days getting the shit beat out of me. So now I understand it a little bit better.
Was there a point during the week when something struck you differently than it had in the past, and you've decided to do differently now as a result? An eureka moment, an aha moment?
Yeah, on Monday was the tough day. I remember coming in at lunch and being very quiet, not wanting to talk to anyone. I think most people were feeling very introspective at the time because we were wondering what we had been doing with our lives. So that was a big change moment. Going back to my room Monday night, I had to think about a lot of things.
Has your vision of what you can achieve grown or different than before you came?
Of course, it's grown tremendously. Dan really opens up the possibilities of what you can do, as in limitless possibilities. So, yeah, I'd say my brain's a little bit fried right now, trying to kind of compile everything that happened. But I can't wait to get back and apply some of these.
Dan talks a lot about taking action now. Do you have plans of what you would like to achieve within the next 21 hours or 21 days?
You know, I'm already making plans, as in trying to set the scene when I get back to London, that I don't have any chance of going back to the way it was. So I'm already trying to eliminate some people and bring some new people back into my life. So yeah, it's I wouldn't say it's a 21-hour plan, but yeah, definitely the first 21 days. There'll be some big changes in my business and what I'm going to do for the future.
Are you pleased with what the final outcome of the seminar was?
Quite honestly, it was probably one of the most important weeks of my life. Definitely one of the most important weeks in the last few years. So I'm completely blown away by Dan and his passion. And to be very honest, I got a little teary when he finished off the presentation today. I haven't cried in a couple years, and I had a really nice cry. So there you go, Dan Peña.
What would you recommend to those watching this on YouTube?
I don't know what to say. I think when people watch Dan on my show and on other people's show, they get a very two-dimensional picture of who Dan is, and it's a great picture and it's great knowledge. But to really understand the man himself and his teachings, you kind of have to come here and experience it in 3D and in 4D, and really immerse yourself in the Guthrie Castle experience, Dan's experience, QLA. So it's really hard to communicate what happened to us this week. So all I can say is watch me, watch the changes I'm going to make in my life, and those were inspired by this week.
Good evening, Robert.
Good evening.
How many times have you attended the seminar?
8 times so far.
Are you glad you attended this seminar, and why?
I'm very glad because it again added so much value, and it helps me very much to work on my business instead of in my business, and so it's perfect.
Was there a point during the week when something struck you differently again and
Yes.
now changed
Yes,
what you
every
do?
time. As Dan says, you always hear what you want to hear, and if you listen 50 hours to that stuff, it's every time you can take a lot of new points with you, and it changes every time a few slides and adds a lot of slides, and so it's again a lot more information, and I could already apply, but ask the next question and I can say that.
Has your vision of what you can achieve grown or different than before?
It has grown dramatically, and it's different again, and so as I said, it helps me to transform myself, to change myself, to accomplish more, and this year has again been a much better year than the years before, and so perfect.
Dan talks a lot about taking action now. Do you have plans of what you'd like to achieve within the next 21 hours, 21 days?
A lot of plans, yeah, and I already sent out some stuff this evening, and I changed dramatically. We'll see.
Are you pleased with what the final outcome of this seminar was?
I'm very pleased, so I signed on again already for January.
What would you recommend to those watching this on YouTube?
I've only seen so far the people that have been here for 8 times. I haven't seen someone who couldn't take advantage of that. So if someone can afford and wants to afford and is able to afford and has a business where he thinks he can improve it by working on his business more than working in his business, you should use that advantage and simply go for that.
Excellent. Thank you. Good evening, Marcus.
Good evening.
Is this your first castle experience?
Nearly. The sixth.
Are you glad you've attended the seminar again, and why?
Yeah, yes, of course. It gets you back on the street, so to say. It sharpens you.
Was there a point during the week when something struck you differently than it had in the past, and you decided now to do differently as a result of that?
Well, as always, the numbers are increasing, so I started 2010 with, so to say, nearly nothing, so 0. And since then I did something, I did a little bit. And yeah, before the seminar I closed my 6 million deal, which is quite good. But again, 6 million is nothing, I learned, so I have to increase the numbers again.
So, your vision, has that achieved greater?
Yeah, well, yes.
Dan talks a lot about taking action now. Do you have plans of what you'd like to achieve within the next 21 hours or 21 days?
I don't plan 21 days in forecast, so I would say 21 hours, yes. First, go back. Second, I got a to-do list from Mr. Peña, what I should do and what I shouldn't do, and I'm going to do it, personal things. I mean, it's personal, I cannot say it, I cannot tell it to you. Okay.
Are you pleased with what the final outcome of the seminar was this time?
Yeah, as I already said, I'm quite fine. I love to be here. I mean, the castle environment is great, and it keeps you on track. It keeps you sharp. It keeps you hungry, and for me, it's a perfect thing to do.
What would be your message to those watching this on YouTube?
Well, if I got it done from 0 to a little bit, I mean, I closed right now some deals. Probably heard it already on YouTube. So if you want to fulfill something in your life, I'm the perfect example without thinking too much to get it done with QLA. So it might be the perfect chance for you, but unless you are coming here, you will never find it out. And I would say just spend here 1 week on this extraordinary trip, so to say, and you're gonna fulfill probably your dreams if you are focused enough and believe in your way.
Good evening, Anthony.
Good evening.
Is this your first castle experience?
It is.
Are you glad you attended the castle seminar, and why?
I'm over the moon. Why? Because I think Dan is an extraordinary person, an extraordinary leader, an extraordinary coach. I think that what he's achieved with me is as big as it could have been, really. He's kind of gone into the psychology of what's stopping us achieving what we want to achieve. He's also gone into the psychology of how to get the things that we do want. But it's not just been a psychology experience, it's also been a how-to. And so there's been a huge number of practical advice about the actual how-to, the next steps. And so that's it. With that as a kind of double whammy, it's been a remarkable 6 days.
Was there a point during the week when something struck you as being so different it was a eureka moment?
Too many to mention. Virtually every day. There's been, in fact, virtually 3 or 4 times each day. So yeah, it's been off the charts, as they say.
Has your vision of what you can achieve grown?
Yes, exponentially, I would say, but not just as a kind of pump it up, yeah, let's do it kind of vision, but also because we've got the how-to steps. I think that my subconscious has allowed my vision and my what is achievable to grow, and so my vision and my goals have grown organically, as it were.
Dan talks a lot about taking action now. Do you have plans of what you're going to do in the next 21 hours or 21 days?
Well, I've already started. Yeah, I've been doing lots of work in the downtime, and also I'm very excited about my 6-hour train journey back to London, because I've got that one filled straight away. And yes, so the next 21 hours will be sleep and work. The next 21 days, as you know, that Dan has a mentorship program which is for the next 52 weeks, which I'm also thrilled about, and so I'm excited to see where that goes. And so yeah, when I run out of things to maybe do, he might be able to prompt me a bit. But so yes.
Are you pleased with the final outcome of the seminar?
Yeah, I'm over the moon with how it's gone. It's been terrific to meet Dan and to meet everybody else here. All the staff have been amazing, and it's been terrific.
What would you recommend to those watching this on YouTube?
Well, what would I recommend? I have had the most wonderful experience, and it's been by far the best personal development business seminar that I've ever attended. And I'd encourage them to watch the testimonials and make a decision.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Anthony.
Thank you so much.
Right. Good evening, Brian. Is this your first castle experience?
It is.
Are you glad you attended the castle seminar, and why?
Without a doubt, I'm glad. I would have to say that this experience has exceeded all expectations.
Was there a point during the week when something struck you differently? An aha moment, a eureka moment, and you do things differently from now on?
I believe every day was there were elements of aha moments, and certainly there would be things I would do differently.
Has your vision of what you can achieve grown or different than before you came?
I think it's both grown, expanded, but also there's a very strong sense of clarity with the visions that I've always had.
Mm-hmm. Dan talks a lot about taking action now. Do you have plans what you would like to achieve within the next 21 hours or 21 days?
Well, I'd have to say I don't think I have waited that long. I think as of Monday, I think I started putting plans to action starting Monday, and it's been traveling through all week.
Are you pleased with what the final outcome was?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What would you recommend to those watching this on YouTube?
I'd have to say that find a passion, stick with a passion, and if you have any vision or goals, go after them wholeheartedly.
Excellent. Thank you. Good evening, David.
Hey Angus, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Is this your first castle experience?
It is.
Are you glad you attended the castle seminar, and why?
I am, due to the extent of its high performance. That's why I came here.
Was there a point during the week when something struck you differently than it had in the past, and you've decided now to do differently as a result?
The fact that I was able to rip down what I was thinking in the past to kind of rechange that.
Has your vision of what you can achieve grown or different than before you came?
It's actually both. It's grown and it's different.
Dan talks a lot about taking action now. Do you have plans of what you'd like to achieve within the next 21 hours or 21 days?
Yeah, I've actually already started the process 30 days before I got here, and I've already made a few phone calls to increase what I wanted to do while I was here.
Are you pleased with what the final outcome of the seminar was?
I am, absolutely.
What would you recommend to those watching this on YouTube?
Live the world as though it should be, to show what it can be.
Good evening, Dom. Is this your first castle experience?
Yes, it is.
Are you glad you attended the castle seminar, and why?
Yes, I'm glad I'm here, and it was a great experience for me, and very interesting. Yes.
Was there a point during the week when something struck you differently than it had in the past, and you will now do differently in the future?
Yes, it's about how much time you have in your lifetime, and how much you waste.
Has your vision of what you can achieve grown or different than before you came?
Both. It's a different vision right now, and it has grown a lot.
Dan talks a lot about taking action now. Do you have plans of what you would like to achieve within the next 21 hours or 21 days?
Yes, I have concrete plans and to take action.
Are you pleased with what the final outcome of the seminar was?
Yes, I'm very pleased, and I can recommend to join the seminar here in Koski.
What would you recommend to those watching this on YouTube?
To come here to the Koski.
Okay. Good evening, Fidel.
Good evening.
Is this your first castle experience?
Yes, it is.
Are you glad you attended the castle seminar, and why?
I'm very glad I attended because I had a different perception when I was watching the YouTube videos. But now that I've come over and seen Dan and have a personal coaching experience with him, you know, you get the real feel for what he talks about and get the real picture. So.
Was there a point during the week when something struck you differently than it had in the past, and you decided now to do differently as a result?
Yes, the most important thing for me was to dream big and to believe in yourself.
Has your vision of what you can achieve grown or different than before?
Massively. Before, it's grown like exponentially, to put it that way. So.
Dan talks a lot about taking action now. Do you have plans of what you would like to achieve within the next 21 hours or 21 days?
I have already started, as per Dan's advice, and yes, I have a pretty clear picture of what I'm going to do in the next 21 hours.
Are you pleased with what the final outcome of the seminar was?
Yes. Once again, go back to believing in yourself. That's a major aspect of the seminar. So.
What would you recommend to those watching this on YouTube?
Take action. There's no way you can have the same experience and the same perspective of a life from YouTube or from audio recordings. The real deal is to come here and to experience reality at a different level. So.
Good evening, Gunther.
Good evening.
Is this your first castle experience?
Oh yeah, it is.
Are you glad you attended the castle seminar, and why?
Yes, I attended the seminar. I'm glad that I did this because it is so precious to get an insight in a person like Dan Peña is. A very successful guy. You have the chance to have 1 week of very, very intense interaction with a man who is a big achiever, a high performance person. You never have the chance to get so many insights from other persons so close than here.
Was there a point during the week when something struck you differently than it had before?
Oh yeah. Because to take Dan Peña as example, he's a guy from very simple. He had no big family or no rich family behind him, and he is a high achiever, excellent, experienced man that did a lot in his life, in his lifetime. High achiever compared to a lot of different people. Compared to me, I did quite well. Not so bad now, but it's nothing compared to that what can be achieved. And compared to the peer group, maybe most of us did not so bad, But if you have a comparison to such a high performer as Dan Peña is a tremendous epiphany.
Has your vision of what you can achieve grown or different from before?
It has grown a lot, yeah, by multiples.
Dan talks a lot about taking action now.
Yeah.
Do you have plans of what you would like to achieve within the next 21 hours
Oh, yes.
or 21 days?
Oh yes, a lot of plans. It's more toughening up the business, put more intense in it, wiping out all the dirt that is there, and focus massively on scaling.
Are you pleased with what the final outcome of the seminar was?
Yeah, I am. It's a very intense experience. And most of all, the 1 year mentoring, this is a very, very important part. That you have a professional, I might say so, a professional ass kicker behind you. This is the biggest benefit. Yeah.
What would you recommend to those watching this on YouTube?
They should get conscious about themselves, and if they want to have a good role model, a high achiever, a mentor that can show them what is possible and what is not, they should come here. They should work up the money. I know it's not that cheap, but people, if they want to get something in life, there's no lunch for free, so I think that's the saying. You get the insight in a high achieving person, and they should come the fuck here and watch what they can do. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your evening. Good evening, Mark. Is this your first castle experience?
Yes, it is.
Are you glad you attended the castle seminar, and why?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been life changing in terms of realising there was a sleeping giant inside of me and bringing it out to the forefront. So yes, definitely enjoyed every 8 days. It's been very fast 8 days. It's from the morning, 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning to late at night. It's just amazing how much information you take in and how Dan puts it across with his personality and forcefulness. It's been a fantastic week, yes.
Was there a point during the week when something struck you differently than it had in the past that you've now decided to do differently as a result of that?
Yeah, just think bigger. Just as I realised when I was 20, to have what most people don't have, you've got to do what most people don't do. And if you want a castle, you've got to do what most people won't do to get a castle. And I think any house that has street lights and signs is a pretty big house. a good indicator that you're doing well. So yes, thinking way bigger. Yeah.
Dan talks a lot about taking action now. Do you have plans of what you'd like to achieve within the first 21 hours or 21 days?
Yeah, so already been speaking with my business partner, telling him we're going to be changing things as of Monday. Stop relying on cash flow and looking now just to get to that next level very quickly. Stop taking the slow boat and take the bullet train, and definitely move ahead at an exponential rate. Yes, take advantage of the systems that Dan's provided us with the QLA, and things will only happen if you make them happen.
Are you pleased with what the final outcome of the seminar was?
Yeah, you go through your highs and lows, you go through it all, and the way Dan does it, it's been fantastic. I won't say much about that, but by the end of it, you are energised, you're ready to go, and for a man of his age, his stature, to put the energy that he does, I know he loves his biohacking. It's been fantastic. Yeah.
What would you recommend to those watching this on YouTube?
Don't be a fanny, and get your finger out, get here. It'll be life changing, and I would definitely think if you want one of those rare occasions where you get to meet somebody who's achieved it rather than people who dream about achieving it, then it's worth every penny of emotion and finance.
Good evening, Michael.
Good evening.
Is this your first castle experience?
Yes, first experience.
Are you glad you attended the castle seminar and why?
Yeah, I'm very glad I attended. It was an amazing experience. Mr. Peña is a gold mine of knowledge and experience. And yeah, I'm very glad. I'm only regretting I haven't been here earlier.
Was there a point during the week when something struck you differently than it had in the past and you've now decided to do differently as a result of that?
Yeah, many things. Many things, yes, yes. It's quite a... yeah.
Has your vision of what you can achieve grown or different than before you came?
I'd say it's massively grown. Yeah, yeah, it's massively grown. When you see the people that come here, that already been once, you see where they are. It's a really validating experience to see what really can be achieved once you put your mind to it.
Dan talks a lot about taking action now. Do you have plans of what you would like to achieve within the next 21 hours or 21 days?
Yeah, yes, I have pretty solid plans of what I'm going to do. I'm going to change massively what I've been doing so far. And it's going to be exciting times very soon.
Are you pleased with what the final outcome of the seminar was?
I'm most pleased, yes.
What would you recommend to those watching this on YouTube?
Stop watching and come here. Nothing more to recommend.
Good evening, Miles. Is this your first castle experience?
Yes, it is.
Are you glad you attended the castle seminar and why?
I'm very glad I attended. I was able to expand on the ideas I had in mind.
Was there a point during the week when something struck you differently than it had in the past, and you've now decided to do different as a result?
Something actually struck me before, right before I arrived, and during the week, it occurred to me I should think less and do more.
Has your vision of what you can achieve grown or different than before you came?
It's the same, but it's grown.
Dan talks a lot about taking action now. Do you have plans of what you'd like to achieve within the next 21 hours or 21 days?
Yes, I do. I changed my travel arrangements to accommodate that.
Are you pleased with what the final outcome of the seminar was?
Yes.
What would you recommend to those watching this on YouTube?
If you can make it, you won't be disappointed.
Good evening, Nereus.
Good evening.
Is this your first castle experience?
Yes, it is my first castle experience.
Are you glad you attended the castle seminar and why?
Yes, I am. It was a very useful experience that will help towards achieving my future goals.
Was there a point during the week when something struck you differently, made you go aha and changed your thinking?
By the second day I realized I need to change certain ways I run my business.
Has your vision of what you can achieve grown or different from before?
Yes. I'm more certain and I feel more focused on what I want to do in the future.
Dan talks a lot about taking action now. Do you have plans of what you would like to achieve within the next 21 hours or 21 days?
Yes. As soon as I get back, I'll start incorporating knowledge which I gain here into executing my plan.
Are you pleased with what the final outcome of the seminar was?
Yes, I'm very pleased, and it exceeded my expectations with all the information and knowledge which I'll use in my business.
What would you recommend to those watching this on YouTube?
I would definitely recommend coming here because it could change your life.
Good evening, Paul.
Good evening.
Is this your first castle experience?
Yes, it's my first castle experience.
Are you glad you attended the Castle seminar and why?
Absolutely, because I acquired a body of knowledge that was just completely new to me, and it was very important that I knew this stuff.
Was there a point during the week when something struck you differently than it had in the past and you decided now to do differently as a result?
There were several of those points during the week, things that just struck me differently, several aha moments. There wasn't just one, there were several. And yes, definitely from this point onwards I realized the things I need to do different.
Has your vision of what you can achieve grown or different than before you came?
Both. It's both grown and it's a little bit different, but more or less it's grown.
Dan talks a lot about taking action now. Do you have plans of what you would like to achieve within the next 21 hours?
Yes,
21
definitely.
days?
Plans within the next 21 days to take some action.
Are you pleased with what the final outcome was?
Absolutely, absolutely.
What would you recommend to those watching this on YouTube?
Just to come here. It is very important to come here because this knowledge is just not available anywhere else, and it consolidates everything.
Excellent. Good evening, Rob. Is this your first Castle experience?
It is.
Are you glad you attended the Castle seminar and why?
Absolutely. I've been able to expand what I'm looking to do with my business, and I think that has everything to do with this past week.
Was there a point during the week when something struck you differently than it had in the past? An aha moment, and you now do it differently?
Certainly on Wednesday, we talked a lot about goal setting and really how we were going to get there and how far we wanted to go. And at that point, I really had a moment where I realized that I needed to shoot for bigger goals to really expand my business.
Has your vision of what you can achieve grown, or is it different than before you came?
Oh, it's absolutely grown. Dan talks about and really gets us to believe in anything being possible. And as the week has progressed, I definitely have seen what I think and what I know I'm going to be able to do expand greatly.
Dan talks a lot about taking action now. Do you have plans of what you would like to achieve within the next 21 hours or 21 days?
I certainly do. I'm looking to expand my board from the existing members to include some industry experts, some financial and legal experts, and then look to start the acquisition process.
Are you pleased with what the final outcome of the seminar was?
Absolutely. I know that I wouldn't be nearly as prepared to do the next acquisition had I not come to this as I am now.
What would you recommend to those watching this on YouTube?
Don't think about it, just come here. It's difficult to describe exactly what's going to go on while you're here, but it is absolutely worth it, and I would recommend it to every person that's taking the time to watch this video.
Excellent. Good evening, Tony.
Good evening.
Is this your first Castle experience?
Yes.
Are you pleased you attended the Castle seminar and why?
Yes, I feel like I've learned a lot from Dan over the last few days.
Was there a point during the week when something struck you differently than it had before and you will now do differently as a result of that?
A key moment was when he mentioned the point about regret minimization, when about to die.
Good. Has your vision of what you can achieve grown or different than before you came?
Yeah, I feel like I should be able to achieve much bigger things than what I've achieved over the last years.
Dan talks a lot about taking action now. Do you have plans of what you would like to achieve within the next 21 hours or 21 days?
Yes. I have a few ideas, but still working on them.
Are you pleased with what the final outcome of the seminar was?
Yes.
What would you recommend to those watching this on YouTube?
I would highly recommend the seminar.
Sally, gentlemen, and Marcus.
Thank you.
It's been an interesting week for me, mainly because many of you are here because of Brian Rose. I was teasing Brian earlier that if you had known that he was actually going to be here, we might have had a fall off, but that's probably not true. But I am thankful for Brian. I want to thank him again. Because London Real got me into showbiz, and so I'm pushing that career forward very strongly. And many of the London Real devotees are here for the past week, and this is our graduation night. And you're all graduating, and we're having, in fact, I think the January seminar is already half full. So not with just London Realers, but a few London Realers as well. The idea behind the week is to go through a paradigm shift. And the talk's cheap and it takes money to buy whiskey. And the proof of the pudding will be in your results over the next 12 months. And with me pounding you through 52 weekly reports and 12 either Zoom or Skype conference calls. And you'll be able to see the difference you make and the transition you make and the transition all the rest of the guys make that are part of the group. This group has been a long time since we haven't had a woman in the group. Excuse me, and so we have 16 guys. And so it'll be interesting. Some of you are in the same parts of the country. We got a couple of southern good old boys, and we've got people from all over the place. And that really doesn't make a difference because the system, the QLA system, works in Scotland, in China, in Australia, and I personally made it work in those places myself, but all through the United States. Go ahead. All through the United States and Europe, Russia, and it doesn't matter. And it's worked not just for me in my 40-plus year career, but more importantly for you guys in the last 21 years. It's worked for just regular guys. Whether you got a PhD or you got no qualifications, as they say in this country, whether you've gone to some of the good schools like we've got represented at Berkeley, MIT, and USC, the other USC on the East Coast, it doesn't matter. It works. Or if you're a dentist, a dentist, or whether you're, you're a financial person, or whether you're a scientist, we've got physicists in the audience or in the group, and we have an actor, yes, and it doesn't matter. The shit works, and it's so refreshing to me to make it work for so many different kinds of personalities. We have A personalities in the group, only a couple, and we've got Henry Kissinger personalities in the group, because there's two ends of the leadership continuum as I pounded and pounded and pounded for a week. We've got the Patton end, which I'm at, George Patton, the general. We've got the Henry Kissinger, Colin Powell, politician end. But most of the high-performance people and that exhibit high-performance leadership skills aren't like me. Now, maybe that's a good thing. As my mother used to say, the world would be a boring place, Dan, if everybody was like me. Now, I don't think that, actually. I think that it wouldn't be a boring place, but she says you got to have variety. And we certainly have variety in this group, and we certainly have variety in the people, the hundreds and thousands of people that have come through the program. But the important thing for the YouTubers to understand, 97 or 98% of the people that the program QLA has been successful for have never met me. They've never talked to me. They've only seen me on YouTube or bought the book when the book used to be for sale. More recently through my podcast and from the stuff that is free content. Many people that are on the Hall of Fame never met me. most of them have met me, but we have many QLA devotees that only went through the training in reading or following the templates. It would be disingenuous for me to say that the people that actually attended the program, the council program, have a big advantage, and there's more of them on the Hall of Fame than there is anything else. So you've got an unfair advantage. I mean, you're gonna be able to take money from not take in the sense of take, but you're able to get and be financed from financial institutions like you went into the bank with a mask and a gun, and they're gonna be able to fund you. Even guys like Fidel here, who is a reformed Colombian drug dealer, is going to be able to get finance. I keep wanting to say that, Doc, but the dentist is going to be able to get money, even though he has a little quirky background and some quirky beliefs. And not the least of which, Brian Rose himself is going to expand his base, and he's going to do more exciting things with his platforms that he's got, that he's worked very hard to build up at the top of the list of podcasts, etc., and downloads from YouTube's. So I want to propose a toast to all of you. It's not a matter of good luck, good hunting.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers. Dom? Wake up! We're talking about hundreds of millions. That's nice, guys. Okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
Here is your 5 Credo card. Here is your QLA Creed card. And here is your diploma. And here is your bottle of Guthrie whiskey.
Always put a nice smile from you. Okay, down this way now. That'll be this way now. Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. David? Your 5 Credo card, your picture card, your diploma, and your bottle of Guthrie whiskey.
Not drinking all that.
Right.
Okay. I'll just move this way. Okay, give me a nice big smile this way. And I tell you what, we'll pull one more just like that. Fabulous. Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you. Okay. Michael? Okay, 5 Credo cards, a diploma, and a bottle of the...
There we go. Okay, that's nice. And one more just... I'll move this. There we go. That's it now. Excellent. Thank you.
Sure it's Marcus? Marcus.
That's impossible.
Huh? Okay. Okay. You ready?
There you go. Lovely. Okay, Marcus this way, and I think you know how to do it now. Thank you.
He's trying.
Probably.
Yeah. You should have done a really solid look then.
Mark.
Oh. Passed even without discussing our business, but that's fine.
Okay. Okay.
And there we go. Okay,
This is the only qualification he's got. You think I'm joking, huh?
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Whose tartan is that?
Graham Monty.
Graham Monty.
This is Robert Meyer.
Robert Meyer. You have enough to paper your house with. Okay.
There we go. Okay, Robert, this way. And if we'll for just one more, that would be brilliant. There we are. Thank you.
Okay.
We're going to send you to the kilt makers. Guilt makers.
Yeah, Tony.
Tony, Doc. Bigot fascist that he is. Okay. No, Tony, excuse me.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. Tony,
I'm here.
he's a bigot fascist too, though. Okay. Sorry. When I said bigot fascist, he just came up. I didn't even say his name.
Putting words in my mouth.
Everybody knows online, that's it.
That's funny, like Pavlov's dog. Yeah, sure, he just responds to bigot fascist. Okay. Brian Mustard. Okay. Okay.
Maybe just take off that for me. Maybe I'm some better. Thank you.
Okay, very good.
Already cost me 400.
Brian Rose.
We're going to send you to the place.
Brian Rose. Okay.
Okay, Brian, that's been it, that's it. Good, and one more as well. Brilliant, thank you.
Great, thank you.
That's good.
Okay, Fidel.
Fidel.
Wow, really?
Yeah, really, yeah. Who'd have thunk it, huh? Fidel Castro, mini seal.
Okay, maybe, okay, Fidel, this way. Thank you.
Okay.
Sure.
No.
Roll. Okay. Okay.
There you go. Okay, this way. And just one more. Thank you.
Very good. Okay. Gunther.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Gunther. Okay, this way. And just one.
Thank you.
Nerius.
I could do the smiles, and that'll be good. Okay, there we go. Fabulous, thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. Anthony.
That's perfect. Here we are. And just one more. Okay.
Okay, very good. Yeah, got it?
Yep.
Paul.
Sorry, I wasn't.
Paul? Now,
Anthony.
the
Oh, thank you. I always wanted to do that. I was never allowed.
Miles.
Good. Sweat me on that one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the
Give me a
question.
smile.
I thought somebody was going to deal with
And
it
one
last
more,
night.
one more.
Somebody will.
Fabulous, thank you.
Okay, very good. Congratulations. The graduating class of, today's the number for second November 2014. Congratulations and good times.
It's the first.
Pardon?
It's the
It's the
first.
first, let's see, November 1st, 2014. Thank you.
Scotland's national dish. Tonight, it is my pleasure to address the haggis for you. This address was written by Robbie Burns. The English. Any English here? Sorry, I forgot about that. The English of William Shakespeare. We Scots of Robbie Burns, born in Alloway in 1759, died in 1796. Robbie was Scotland's most famous poet. He wrote hundreds, thousands of poems and songs. Now, for any of you who have never heard of Robbie Burns, perhaps the most famous song in the world, Should Old Acquaintance Be Forgot, and Never Brought to Mind. Old Lang Syne is credited with being a Burns composition. Now, on the 25th of January, every year we Scots the world over, America, Canada, Australia, even some parts of England, will celebrate Robbie Burns by eating haggis. Now, legend has it that Robbie wrote this address to the haggis whilst he was a poor farmer. He was in Edinburgh trying to make it big in poetry, and he was invited over to a grand dinner, and at the last minute he was asked to say grace. This is the grace that he delivered that night. It was his first published piece of poetry, the address to the haggis. Fair foe, your honest sonsy face, great chieftain o' the puddin' race, upon the ball, ye take your place. Pain strike my theorem, wheel your wordy o' a grace, as lang's my earm. The groan and drench are there, ye fill your army. It's like a distant hill, your pain would help to mend a mill in time o' need, while through your pores the juice is still. Like amber beat his knife. Ah. But his knife, Sir rustic labour depth and continual race drenching your passion entrails breath like funny bitch. And then, oh, what a glorious sight. Warm, reeking. Oh. Oh. And rich. Then horn for horn the stretch and strive, deal tack the hindmost on the drive till all our wheels swell kites be live, are bent like drums, and then I'll give me the slight derive. Be thank your tongues. Any French? Is there that over his French of you, or the old would stause your fricassee that would make a spew with perfect scurr, which done with sneer and scorn for you. On sick the dinner! Good devil! See him on his trash, as feckless as a weather trash, his window shank get whiplash, his knee and net. Oh, bloody floods are fields to dash. Oh, how unfit! But Mark, a rustic, haggis bed, the clam on earth resigns his tread, co-up in his wally knee the blade. He'll knock it whistle, and legs and arms, and heads will spread, like taps of the thrizzle. Ye poors will knock mankind your care, and dish them out their bill of fare. Old Scotland wants nae skinking ware that jumps and luggies, but if you wish, a grateful prayer. Gear the haggis! He's grabbed his whiskey already. He's waiting for his toast. Ladies and gentlemen, the haggis. Yes.
understand what he said?
Not in the least.